What's up, YouTube? This your boy, Big Boy Facts Johnny TV, and tonight I'm going to give you guys my WWE Raw review and highlights. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys watch this full video before you subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button and follow my social media, my Twitter, my Instagram, and TikTok, and Twitch, and Discord down below in the description. Let's talk about Raw. Now, Monday Night Raw was a boring show. I give it a 3 out of 10. The show begins with the commentary team of Jimmy Smith, Byron Saxton, and Corey Graves run down tonight's card, and we kick it to the ring where Kevin Patrick is ready to host tonight's final round of the Alpha Academy challenge between Matt Riddle and Randy Orton of Arcade Road, Otis, and Chad Gable of Alpha Academy. Gable interrupts Kevin and explains the rules of tonight's quiz bowl. Gable says he'll explain the rules in a way that even the dumb mouth breathers of Denver can't understand. Gable goes through the rules and says they'll be asked questions in a array of categories, and the first team to earn 5 points will win. Kevin announced the categories, and they are Greek mythology, film and literature, cartoon, biology, metric, conversations, graphics, U.S. president, sports, and pop culture. Otis and Gable are up first. Gable selects U.S. president and are asked which president was the first to be elected that had a college degree. Their choice are George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams. Gable laughs and says there's one thing he knows, it's about college degree, since he has his master's degree and graduated with 4-point GPA. Gable tells the crowd that they're discussing for Boyne educating and answers the question as John Adams, which is correct. Riddle selects biology. The question is, an octopus may have 8 arms, but how many hearts do they have? The answer are either 1, 2, 3, or 5. Riddle says his cousin Craig is a marine biologist and says Craig once took him to Mao, where they went on a sick expedition where they dissected an octopus. Riddle then answers 3, which is correct. Gable says that was a lucky guess. Then asks for Greek mythology. The question is, in Greek mythology, who flew too close to the sun and fell to his death when his wings melted? The choice are Apollo, Cars, and Pegasus. Gable fake yawns and answers Lacaris, which is correct. Orange selects cartoons, which gets a pop from the crowd, and the question is, which Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles use a pair of nunchucks to fight Shredder? The choices are Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, or Raphael. Riddle answered Michelangelo, which is correct. Gable says that category shouldn't have been in the quiz. Orton tells Gable to shut up and tells Gable to let Otis answer a question. Gable says that's a great idea because he's being training Otis, who choose geography. The question is, which of the list state is the largest of the 48 continual United States? The choices are Texas, California, Montana, and Colorado. Otis says if this was a question to see who has the lowest IQ, the answer will surely be Colorado, but the answer is Texas, which is correct. Riddle then chooses pop culture, and the question is, in 2019, global superstar Justin Justin Bieber married model Haley Baldwin, who is the daughter of which famous actor? The choice are Stephen Baldwin, Alec Baldwin, Billy Baldwin, or Daniel Baldwin. Riddle asks Orton if he knows the answer, and Orton says absolutely not. Riddle asks Kevin to use one of his non-existent lifelines to call his friends. Justin Bieber, Kevin informs him that there isn't any lifelines. Orton says the only Baldwin he knows is Alec Baldwin. So he answers the question as elect as Alec, which is incorrect. Gable and Otis now have a chance to steal the point. Gable says this man happened to be one of his favorite movies of all time. Baldwin and says the answer is Stephen Baldwin, which is correct. Alpha Academy have now four and Team RKO had two leads, which means if they answer their next question correctly, they win the quiz bowl. Gable says since they're about to win, RKO won't get a rematch for the Raw Tag Team titles, and since they have all this free time, they should do themselves a favor and pick up a book. Gable then choose film and literature. The question is, which Shakespeare play has been adapted into the most movies? The choice are Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, or Hamlet, Othello, and Macbeth. Otis begins to answer Hamlet, but Gable interrupts him and says it's the greatest life story of all time. Otis again starts to say Hamlet. Gable tells him to shush and says just like their kiss, like the kiss was the kiss of death. Riddle and Orton can kiss the Raw Tag Team titles goodbye because the answer is Romeo and Juliet, which is incorrect. Riddle and Orton now have a chance to steal the point. Riddle says to be or not to be. Orton asks him if he knows the answer. Riddle answered Hamlet, which is correct. It's now 4-3. Alpha Academy in the lead, but the next question for RK Bro, Orton asks for sports. The question is, which quarterback has the most wins in Denver Broncos history? The choices are Peyton Manning, Jake Palmer, Jake Cutler, or John Elway. Orton says he'll like a little help with this question. He asks if the answer is Peyton Manning, not much noise. Jake Palmer, no noise. Jake Cutler, a little noise. Or Orton then asks if it's John freaking Elway, which sends the crowd into a frenzy. Orton answered John Elway, and that's correct. It's now 4-4, tied up. If Otis and Gable answers this correctly, they win the quiz bowl. Gable selects metric. Metric. Conversions. The question is how many grounds are in once. The options are 12, 16, 28, or 32. Gable tells the crowd to shush. Gable answers 16 and then says 32, then gives a final answer of 12. And now if RK Bro answers this correctly, they'll win. Riddle says the other day he was calibrating in his scale. Orton says he wants to answer it. Riddle asks Orton how he knows the answer. Orton asks him if he thinks he's the only one who bakes, bro. Orton says Orton says there are exactly 28 grounds in once, and that's correct. RK Bro wins the quiz bowl in the Apple Academy challenge, which means they'll get a rematch for the Raw Tag Team championships. Gable yells and says the last question wasn't in the pre-read, and he demands a redo. Riddle tells Gable to shush and says he just got outsmarted by the three most dangerous ladders in sports entertainment. RK Bro. Gable and Knowles throw chairs around the ring, and Gable continues to yell about the buzzer, the fans, and the question. Riddle and Orton leave and Montez, Ford, and Angelo Dawkins of the Street Profits make their way out. Montez says to keep the same energy and asks Angelo to guess who just lost a quiz bowl. Angelo Dawkins says the Alpha Academy. Montez verbally dings it as the correct answer and then asks Angelo a bonus question, which is to guess who owns RK Bro a rematch for the Raw Tag Team titles. Raw Tag Team title match. Angelo Dawkins and the Alpha Academy. Gable rolls out of the ring and asks for it. And Dawkins, which tag team is about to get their kick by Alpha Academy tonight? Montez Ford, since they're in the Mile High City, they get high with the Alpha Academy because the Street Profits and they want the smoke. Otis attacks Montez Ford, and it's announced that the Miz will host Miz TV alongside Maurice with Ray and Dominic Mysterio. All right, the first hour of Raw was just boring. But let me continue. So we get the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins versus Alpha Academy, Chad Gable and Otis. This was a quick tag team match. Ford and Otis take each other out quickly. Dawkins and Gable go back and forth to start. Dawkins drills Gable with a slam, then toss Gable into the corner and lands a splash. Gable scoops Dawkins and launches him with a belly-to-belly suplex. Goes for the cover, but Dawkins kicks out at 2. Dawkins delivers a heavy right hand on Gable. Goes for the cover, but Otis sneaks in and breaks up the pin. Ford smokes Otis with the insecurity. Toss Otis out of the ring and lays him out with a dice over the top rope. Back in the ring, Dawkins rolls up Gable, who kicks out at 2. Gable rolls Dawkins into an ankle lock, then rolls transition into a roll up, and he gets the 1, 2, 3 for the win. The winners of the match, Alpha Academy. All right, let's move on. We see a video package hyping up the upcoming WWE 2K22 video game, which is set to release on March 11th. MVP's in the ring, and he introduced the WWE champion, the WWE champion, the almighty Bobby Lashley, who makes his way to the ring. The crowd pours down Bobby chant. And MVP says last week there should have been a celebration because at the Royal Rumble, Bobby Lashley won the conclusion of consequence against Brock Lesnar to become a now 2-time WWE champion. MVP says Lashley slayed the beast and took back what's rightfully his, the WWE champion. And some people may say Lashley only won because Roman Reigns took out Brock Lesnar, but Lashley would won either way, and all that matters is that Lashley pinned Brock Lesnar and won the match. MVP says last week should have been federally declared Bobby Lashley Day, but instead they got Adam Pearce telling Lashley that he'll have to defend his WWE Championship inside of an elimination chamber in 2 weeks. MVP says it's impressive that Lesnar won the Royal Rumble, especially since he just had a hard fight match against Lashley hours before. MVP says Lesnar earned the right to face Reigns at WrestleMania, but it's not right that he has a spot in the Elimination Chamber match. But either way, Lashley will walk out of the show with the WWE Championship. MVP says everyone in the Elimination Chamber is great, but they're just men. And when you talk about Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar, you're talking about the monster, and Bobby Lashley is the baddest of them all. Lashley says the champ is here and holds the WWE title over his head. Lashley says Lesnar disrespecting him for the last time and says nobody makes demands from the Almighty, and Lesnar came out last week and kept demanding things he didn't work for. Lashley asks when the last time Lesnar defended the WWE title was, when the last time that he competed on Monday Night Raw. Lashley says he hopes it comes down to he and Lesnar in the Elimination Chamber, because he'll just pin Brock Lesnar again, and it won't be him locked in the chamber with Brock. It will be Brock locked in the chamber with him. Lashley says when Brock Lesnar wakes up in the hospital and he hears the mirror sound of Bobby Lashley, he can go fight for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania 38, because he'll be defending the WWE title in the main event at WrestleMania 38. All right, let's move on. So we get Alexa Bliss has another therapy session. She shows holding the Lily doll. The therapist asks Alexa to hand back over the hand back over the Lily. Alexa does. The therapist says everything's going to be okay, and Alexa immediately starts crying, and we head back to the ring for our next match. So we get AJ Styles versus Damien Priest. This was a quick match. Damien Priest tossed AJ Styles right into the corner and then nails him with a spinning back elbow. Looks for a suplex. AJ rolls out, but eat a running clothesline from Damien Priest, who goes for the cover, but AJ kicks out either after a 2 count. Damien Priest puts AJ on the top turnbuckle. He follows him up, looks for the superplex, but AJ rolls through his legs and trips Damien Priest up. AJ looks for the Styles Clash. Damien Priest rolls out, miss a spinning back kick, and AJ wallops him with a backbreaker before going for a cover, but Damien Priest again lifts the shoulders and time. AJ rolls to the outside, looks for the phenomenal forearm. Damien Priest blasts AJ with a forearm of his own, runs off the ropes, and AJ drills him with the phenomenal forearm and gets the 3 count for the win. The winner of the match, AJ Styles. We then see some highlights from last Friday's edition of SmackDown, where Goldberg challenged Roman Reigns for a match at Elimination Chamber, and Ronda Rousey made her blue brand debut to announce that she chose Charlotte Flair to face at WrestleMania 38 for the SmackDown Women's Championship. The commentators then announced that Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Lil Morgan, Dewdrop, Nikki Ash, as well as the mystery competitor, will compete at Elimination Chamber in the Elimination Chamber match to determine who will challenge the winner of Becky Lynch versus Lita for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania 38. Now, this segment was garbage. The Miz and Maurice makes their way down to the ring for an episode of Miz TV. Miz introduced the boy he beats last week and his father, Dominic and Rey Mysterio. Miz says Rey and Dominic are probably wondering why he invited them to the show tonight, but it's because he likes to face controversy head on, and then shows footage of him defeating Dominic Mysterio from last Monday night. Miz says that he looked at the footage. It seems nothing wrong. Miz asks Ray if he sees a problem. Ray says if by problem he means using underhanded tactics to defeat his son, then yes, he has a problem. Miz Miz says he'll never use underhanded tactics and asks Ray if he's calling him a cheater. The crowd chants yes. Miz raises his hand and asks the crowd if they know what it means. It means when his hand goes up, their mouths go shut. Miz says he's not a cheater. He's not a cheater, and if he wants to see cheating, look no further than he and Miz mixed tag match against Edge and Beth Phoenix from the Royal Rumble. Miz says Beth punches and kick him. He legally he literally and he finds it funny when people like Beth Phoenix and Edge use Eddie Guerrero use and underhand tactics. They applaud and cheer, but when he does it, he boos and calls a cheater. Miz Miz rarely treated that he's not a cheater and says he outsmarted and over Vanderbilt Dominic, and if he lost to him, that's his fault. And if anyone was cheated out of anything, it's him being cheated out of an opportunity to compete for a spot in the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship. But Ray got a chance instead, even though he's been on a tier since winning the Money in the Bank contract. That according to Ray, Miz cheated to win. Miz says the best Drew McIntyre when McIntyre was unbeatable. Ray says he only did it because of Bobby Lashley's help. Miz says he became WWE champion. The crowd continues to rain down cheater, cheater, cheater. Boo Miz. Says the only two-time Grand Slam champion in the history of WWE. And his face should be on the truck and the poster and the other cover of WWE 2K22. Then shows Rey Mysterio on the cover of this year's video game. Miz asks Ray what he has that Miz doesn't. Then asks what's Ray has that Maurice doesn't. Maurice says Ray could learn a thing or two from her and he could call himself Rey Mysterio. Ray thanks Maurice and says no thanks. He's good. Miz says all he wants is a little respect. Dominic asks Miz where his respect is, says he should show his father some respect. Miz asks if he just hides behind his son now, and Miz challenged Dominic to a rematch from last week, and Dominic accepts. Miz says Dominic is not a taller than Ray and asks Dominic if he's sure that he's not Eddie Guerrero's son. Ray goes after after Miz. Dominic holds him back and throws a chair at Miz, and we had to break. So we get the Miz versus Dominic Mysterio. This was a quick match. Back from the break, Miz and Dominic are going at it. This one gets officially underway. Maurice gets ejected for tripping Dominic Mysterio. Ray trips Miz as a callback to last week for Miz getting Ray wrongly ejected from the match. Miz tries to slap Ray, and Dominic comes out from behind and roll up Miz for the 1-2-3 in the win. The winner of the match, Dominic Mysterio. So we get Bianca Belair versus Nikki Ash. Bianca Belair launched Nikki into the corner. Nikki dives at Bianca's ankle but tosses her back into the corner. Nikki drills Bianca with a slam for the cover. Bianca quickly kicks out, fires Nikki into the opposite corner and blasts Nikki's head into the ring post with her boot. Taunts Nikki back into the ring and plants Nikki with the kiss of death for the 3 count and the win. The winner of the match, Bianca Belair. All right, backstage. Backstage, we see R-Truth, Akira Tozawa, and Tamina, who are looking for the 24/7 champion. Dana Brooke and Reggie, who pop up once and they leave. Dana tells Reggie he's the sweetest guy in the world and she's a better champion because of him. Then plants his kiss on his cheek. Reggie asks, "What's all of this means?" And Dana says it means that they're really good friends and she hopes that it never changes. They hug and stare each other in the eyes, then run off once. R-Truth, Tozawa, and Tamina chase them off. So we get Kevin Owens versus Austin Theory. Alright. This was a decent match. This was decent. Kevin Owens take control early, but Theory launches him shoulder first into the turnbuckle post. Theory tosses Kevin Owens out of the ring and tries to launch him into the steel steps, but Kevin Owens counters and launches Theory into the steps himself before nailing him with a flying senton off the apron. Kevin Owens gets back into the ring. Theory struggles to his feet, but slides in to avoid being counted out, but Kevin Owens drills him with an elbow before unloading chops to the chest. Theory slides out of any more damage and tosses Owens to the apron. Kevin Owens fights. Look for a suplex to the outside. Austin Theory avoids and lays Kevin Owens out with a running forearm. Drag Kevin Owens back into the ring. Goes for the cover, but Kevin Owens kicks out at 2. Austin Theory tosses Kevin Owens into the corner, puts him into the turnbuckle, and Kevin Owens sends him flying with a belly-to-belly from the top rope. Kevin Owens starts unloading strikes. Austin Theory fires some back. Kevin Owens tosses him into the corner and drills Theory with a rolling senton to down Theory in the corner, but Austin Theory rolls out of the ring to avoid a pin attempt. Kevin Owens chases Theory to the outside and nails Theory with a fall splash from the apron, then tosses Theory back into the ring and goes for the cover, but Theory lifts the shoulders at 2.5. Theory counters Owens with a left hand. Owens goes for the stunner. Theory rolls out and plants Owens with a slam. Kevin goes for the cover, but Kevin Owens is able to kick out at 2. Theory puts Owens on the top turnbuckle, then follows him up with their Kevin Owens stops the superplex and plants Theory with a flying forearm carry from the top turnbuckle. Goes for the cover, but Theory kicks out at 2.5. Kevin Owens goes right back up top, looks for the fall splash, but Theory gets his knees up. Then looks for the ATL, but Kevin Owens counters it into the stunner and gets the 3 count for the win. The winner of the match, Kevin Owens. After we then see Randy Orton and Matt Riddle of RK Bro backstage. Riddle says that he's exactly that he and Orton earned a rematch against American Alpha Academy for the Raw Tag Team titles. Raw Tag Team champions. But Orton cuts him off and says Riddle has had of an opportunity in 2 weeks when he challenged WWE champion Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins, Austin Theory, AJ Styles, and Brock Lesnar for the WWE title inside of the Elimination Chamber. Orton says Riddle has a chance to main event WrestleMania as the WWE champion, but before that, he'll face Seth Rollins tonight, and all he has to do is focus on Rollins. Riddle says if he wins the Elimination Chamber, and he and Riddle beat Alpha Academy, he'll be a double champion, and then they'll be tag team champions once again. Riddle invites Orton to his RK Bro party next week. WWE Hall of Famer Lita makes her way to the ring before we head to a commercial break. Back from the break, we see the 4.76 benches for Beer, who's still coming. WWE Hall of Famer Lita is out. Is in the ring, and we see confrontation with the Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch from last week's, where she challenged Becky Lynch to a title match at Elimination Chamber in 2 weeks. Back in the ring, Lita says she had no idea that she be on Monday Night Raw just a couple of weeks ago. But after being in the Royal Rumble with some of the top stars in the company, she felt at home. She felt at home. Lita says she was in the ring with Charlotte, Flair, Ronda Rousey, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley, but there was one person who wasn't in the ring, wasn't in the Rumble match, Becky Lynch. Lita says she wanted to face Becky for a long time, and out comes the Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch says it's incredible to see her. Lita says all of this nice things about her, and it's one thing to have Ronda Rousey talk about her, but it's another to hear those things from her teenager idol. Becky says she'll like to explain why she ordinarily declined Lita's challenge last week, and says it was because she worshipped Lita as a child, and Lita always believed in her from the miles she stepped into the WWE. And if there was no Lita, there will be no Becky Lynch. But now there is a Becky Lynch. There could be no Lita. Becky asked Asuka. I'm sorry. Becky asked Lita. I'm sorry for saying Asuka. I botched that. I apologize. What I was trying to say is Becky Lynch asked Lita if she has any idea how much it hurts to see the one person she looked up to try to take everything away from her. Becky says this is the most important thing in her life in this WrestleMania season, and she had to get rid of her friends to get there. There's no problem. She had to get rid of the fans, no problem. And now she'll get rid of Lita with no problem. Becky says she's in the prime of her career, and she's beaten everyone who gotten in her way. And while Lita may have helped her come up, she has no issue in putting her down. Lita says Becky Lynch the odds on favor and beat her, and that's exactly why she has no problem being the underdog. Lita says she was just some dumpster diving kid chasing her dreams, but the fans are the ones who help her become a four-time WWE Women's Champion. And while it may be true that she hasn't had a title shot in 15 years, WWE Universe still support her. As long as that happens, there's always be a Lita and Becky Lynch going to come to terms with the fact that Lita will leave the Elimination Chamber as a 5-time Women's Champion. Becky Lynch says she'll leave Lita with the people because that's all she'll ever have. Becky Lynch drops the mic and rush Lita, who ready for the attack. Lita goes for the twist of fate. Becky Lynch counter and beat Lita down. Becky Lynch grabs her title and it's about to leave, but decides to go back on the attack. But Lita plants her with the twist of fate and the subsequent moonsault. Becky rolls out of the ring. Lita celebrates, and we see Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville backstage. Kevin Owens approaches them, complains their suits, and says, with his win over Austin Theory, that means he's in the Elimination Chamber, right? Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville says no, and that's the qualifying match. Results are final. Kevin Owens asks them if they're going to to priv the WWE Universe of seeing him in the Chamber match? Pierce says yes, and Sonya Deville says may not even compete at WrestleMania. Kevin Owens says they can't do that to the people of Texas. If they do that, there will be a riot in the sand deep in the heart of Texas. Heart of Texas might as well be deep in the heart of Owens. Kevin Owens says he won his first Universal Championship in Texas. It says he has to be at WrestleMania because the people need him. Kevin Owens asked them to think about it and walk off. Lil Morgan makes her way to the ring for her match against Dewdrop, which will go down after we come back from a commercial break. Alright, so we get Lil Morgan versus Dewdrop. Dewdrop lays Liv out early. Liv latches into Dewdrop's back and looks for a weird naked choke, but Dewdrop walks over to the corner. She subs her off. Liv Morgan hits Dewdrop with a couple of splashes into the corner, but Dewdrop wallops her with a crossbody. Dewdrop tosses Liv Morgan around before launching her into the corner. Goes for the cover, but Liv kicks out at 2. Liv tries to fight back and launches herself at Dewdrop, but it's met with a forearm that sends her back. Liv Morgan kicks Dewdrop in the knee and then midsection, but Dewdrop again used her power to the momentum. She nails Liv Morgan with a splash and then a senton drop. Dewdrop goes for the cover, but Liv Morgan stays alive after kicking out at 2.5. Dewdrop locks in a head and arm lock, head and arm choke. Liv fought out, gets thrown into the corner, but kicks Dewdrop in the face. Goes up top, then fires down on Dewdrop with a massive missile drop kick from the top rope. Both struggle to their feet. Lil Morgan kicks up and starts unloading shots onto Dewdrop. Then draw kicks, then a step up knee before a pair of knee to the face and goes for the cover. But Dewdrop lifts the shoulders after a count of 2. Dewdrop looks for the powerbomb. Liv Morgan spins out, but Dewdrop flattens her with a reverse powerbomb. Goes for the cover, but Liv Morgan somehow kicks out. Dewdrop puts Liv on the top turnbuckle. Liv kicks her back, but Dewdrop tosses her down to the mat. Goes for the splash and gets it in the 1, 2, 3 for the win. The winner of the match, Dewdrop. Alright. We then see another therapy session with Alexa Bliss. Alexa looks a bit different than the previous session from earlier tonight, and she starts talking about someone cutting her off in traffic, then about this rude woman at the grocery store whom she's whacked with a loaf of bread before controlling her anger and leaving the store. The therapist says it's progress, but says they have work to do. We then see Seth Rollins in Gorilla, where Kevin Patrick approaches him and asks him how he plans to leave the Elimination Chamber event with the WWE title. Rollins says he resumes speak for himself, but the only thing he has never done is headline WrestleMania with the WWE Championship. But this is his year. Rollins asks Patrick if he knows who's talking to. The future WWE champion, Seth freaking Rollins, who then makes his way out to the ring for our main event of the evening, which will go down after the break. Back from the break, and before our main event, commentator announced that Brock Lesnar will be live on next week's Raw and AJ will face Damien Priest for the United States Championship. I'm cool with that. For next week. Next week, Riddle then makes his way to the ring, and he's set to face Seth freaking Rollins. All right, so we get Seth Rollins versus Matt Riddle. This was a good match. I enjoyed this match. All right, Rollins takes down Riddle to start and last in hit in their face of Riddle, but Riddle scoops him to the side and locks in an arm bar. But Rollins launches into the ropes to break up the hold. Riddle tosses Rollins out of the ring, but Rollins fires him into the barricade with a powerbomb, and we head to a commercial break. Back from the break, and Rollins is in control, back in the middle of the ring. Riddle fights back with an elbow, then goes up top, but Rollins trips him up and starts unloading forearms to the chest. Rollins jumps over the ropes into the apron and goes up top and nails Riddle with a stomp from up top, then goes for the cover. But Riddle kicks out at two. Riddle comes flying back and unloads knee to the corner. Rollins then an overhead slam, then gets for a senton. Rollins gets the knees up, but Riddle tosses Rollins outside of the ring and nails him with a kick to the chest and launches himself up the middle rope and lays out Rollins with a springboard moonsault. Kevin Owens comes out of nowhere and attacks Riddle to force a disqualification. Randy comes running down and RKO's Kevin Owens, and Orton and Rollins start yelling in each other's faces as we head to a commercial break. The winner by disqualification, Matt Riddle. Before back from the break, and it happens as if we have a tag team match in our hands. So we get RK Bro, Randy Orton, and Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. All right. Um, Randy Orton and Seth Rollins start this one off. Orton gets control, but Rollins chops him in the throat and clotheslines him out of the ring. Orton gets Rollins back into the ring, tags in Riddle. A double team kick warrants a cover from Riddle, but Rollins kicks out at two. Kevin Owens tags himself and blasts Riddle with a super kick, then a senton and right hand before yelling at Orton while Rollins recovers at ringside. Kevin Owens continues to lay into Riddle and launches himself with a springboard moonsault into Riddle, goes for the cover, but Riddle stays alive after lifting the shoulders at two. Or Kevin Owens mocks Randy Orton, tags in Seth Rollins, who goes up top and drills Riddle with a flying axe handle. Rollins stomps on Riddle's hand, rake his eyes and nose, and then stomps on Riddle's face before laughing at him. Riddle fights back with some strikes, but Seth Rollins sends him back down with a kick, then tags Kevin Owens back in. Kevin Owens stomps on Riddle's bare feet and locks in a heel hook. Riddle powers out, but Kevin Owens tosses him into the corner and he tags in Rollins, who unloads on Riddle with a bunch of stomps before distracting the referee while Kevin Owens stomps on and a down Riddle in the corner. Seth Rollins applies a choke, lets it go, and knocks Orton off the apron. Then goes up top and misses a splash when Riddle rolls out of the way. Orton struggle back to the apron. Riddle crawls back to his corner looking for the tag, but Rollins tag in Owens, who stops Riddle, but Riddle locks him back and finally gets to tag to Randy Orton, who lays out both Rollins and Kevin Owens with his patented slam. then plant Rollins with a middle rope DDT before pounding on the mat. Orton looks for an RKO. Seth Rollins pushes him out of the way. Matt Riddle makes him. Matt Riddle tags him. Matt Riddle makes the self tag, knocks Kevin Owens out of the ring. Orton out to Rollins counter. Riddle slams him to the mat and drills him with a stomp for the 1-2-3 in the win. The winner of the match, Kevin Owens. The winner of the match, Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. All right, after the match, Randy Orton plants Kevin Owens with an RKO. Seth Rollins laughs on from the entrance ramp, and Owens checks on Riddle as the show goes off the air. Thank God the show was over with. Thank God the show was over with. But overall, Monday Night Raw was a boring show. I give it a 3 out of 10, and that's it. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed my WWE Raw review and highlights, please drop a like on this video. Comment down below what are your thoughts on Raw tonight. Follow my social media, my Twitter, my Instagram, my TikTok, and Twitch, and Discord down below in the description. And tomorrow I will be streaming. I will be going live on YouTube tomorrow, Tuesday. So make sure you guys make sure you guys come to my stream tomorrow for YouTube. But anyway, I'm gonna go edit this video, and then I'm gonna premiere this video. And then I'm going to go live on Twitch tonight. So I'll see you guys on my Twitch side. But anyway, this your boy, bigboyfactsjonnytv. I'll talk to you guys later. And I'm out of here. Peace out, guys.